Did you not go to the gym today? No, you didn't, did you?
I haven't yet, no.
This is terrible. Well,
You're a morning gym person?
Well, if I have to.
Yeah.
Like, as in if I have to squeeze it in before work.
Yep.
So not by choice,
but
no.
What would be your choice then? What would be your...
Mid-morning.
Fair?
Yeah.
I think mid-morning's fair. Like, I like early morning.
Yeah,
but
I'm
that's...
early.
Yeah.
But that's me. I like buzzing from day one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
5 o'clock in the morning.
Wake up, fucking ready to
That's
go. Alright, we'll do the little intro spiel. Welcome back to another episode of Murph Mitise.
You ready? Let's go.
Today we have a special guest in, Jenna McCormick. Welcome.
Thank you.
We'll just say before, Murph has no idea who Jenna is. Did a bit of Instagram stalking just before, and has found out 3 things about Jenna. So we're basically gonna go. We'll start with that.
We'll start with 3.
We'll start with 3 things, and then we'll go from there, and we'll see what sort of comes from this. So I'll let you take it away. You got your things.
Well, let's start really casual. Now, you're a singer.
Oh, I don't know whether I would put
Hey,
it
hey,
to
I've seen it on the ground.
I saw on the gram, as I did some stalking, saw on the gram that you did some singing. I went, oh no, I want to hear the voice.
Mm.
It sounds pretty cool. It's that real distinct, throaty voice that comes through from me. I don't know if that's what you're going for, that's what you know about yourself, but is that what you feel? Is that how you like to sing?
I guess so.
You weren't expecting this, were you?
No one's ever asked me about singing.
Well, let's do it. Let's go straight into it.
Yeah, no, I definitely do not sing as a singer. It's purely a hobby, if even that.
Where to start?
Oh.
What's your interest?
Why
I think
did
it's
you start to sing?
like I would never put anything of myself on the gram singing or playing guitar because I can't.
I didn't want to hear myself sing, so I'm not
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I'm really like nervous in front of people when I'm singing and playing guitar, and so it usually always ends up being like a bit of a peer pressure thing.
Okay.
That's the only reason why I end up doing it. But yeah, I taught myself how to play guitar, so
Yeah, right.
That's sick.
yeah, learnt on the net, as you can do with many things these days.
Yep.
And
We're talking about YouTube, like you went to YouTube.
Yeah.
You went to YouTube and taught yourself guitar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was, and then that was just fun for me to be able to do, you know.
Like what age?
whenever
What
I
age?
could. I think it was year 10.
So I lose track of that. How old?
2010, so 7 years ago.
Yes,
So-
what's that? 20 more? How old is you?
14.
16, 17.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's like we were talking about this last week, right?
Yeah.
At that age, I wasn't doing anything like that. Like at 16, 17, I was just like, you know, working a casual job and doing my schoolwork. That was about it.
That was it.
You know, not
Very
doing
true.
some guitar for YouTube.
Yeah, so that's that, but that's not really much of a story.
But that's what we want to talk about.
But that's the kind of thing we want to find a bit more about, like the deeper level than just the the hardcore fitness, the hardcore sport.
Mm-hmm.
What makes you? What makes you who you are today? Like, I'm not just a strength coach. I've got other things in my background. So that's cool. That's something you do. Is that like a wind down thing for you? Is that something you do when sport's not going the way you want it to? You just go, you know what? I'm just going to blast out a song right now.
Yeah, it is.
I'm going to grab it. Like that takes balls. No, it takes some balls to grab it.
Do you write your own music, or is it?
I've written 2 songs in my life. That's it. So I'm not much of a songwriter.
Okay.
I'm more of a pick a song that I like. Does it sound good with my voice type thing? Can I play it on the guitar? If I can, tick tick tick. We'll put it all together and see if I can.
That's
do
it.
it. But yeah, no, it's definitely more like a hobby thing.
Yeah.
If I'm bored, might play a little bit. If I've got something, maybe that's a bit too hectic, then I'll
We can
just
chill out.
take it out on the guitar.
Very cool.
But yeah.
Well, I saw you bought a new guitar.
I did.
I saw you bought a new guitar.
Yes, I am. And so now I'm more so just playing it because I want to play it.
Okay.
Like, because I got this new guitar, so.
Run me through the choice of the selection of guitars. What was your last guitar? And then why have you chosen the guitar you've chosen now?
I had a Washburn before.
Yeah.
That was beautiful, served me really well. And I just one day decided, you know what, I'm going to try and sell it. If I can sell it, I'll put that money towards getting a new one. So I did that, sold it, and went to Derringers.
Mm-hmm.
They were great to me. A little shout out there. They seriously were really great. Like sometimes it's intimidating as a girl to go into a place like that with all the guitar people that play really really well, like way more advanced than me, And so to go in there, and I had this one guy who came and served me, and he was really great. And we just
give him a little shout out.
His name was Justin.
Yep.
So
Justin and Derringer.
good job, mate. Yeah, no, we just got a couple, told him my price range, and then it was just a matter of trial and error, seeing which ones sound better.
Like,
feel
do you
better.
have like a feel thing? Is it a looks thing? Like, I wouldn't know where to start looking for.
Yeah, it was a looks thing. I wanted it to obviously be appealing to me.
It's got to look at the gram.
Yeah,
It's got to look at the gram.
And also a sound thing.
Okay.
So it's got to sound good. Not
Can
only.
you pick sounds now? Like when you're playing. Sorry, I did interrupt, but like.
That's
you taught yourself, as like I know what this is and what that is, and it sounds different compared to this one. I'm looking for that. Like I figure like if you're taught off YouTube.
Yeah.
Right. You don't have like coaching. I imagine music being like a coaching thing, one-on-one learning, right? So can you, when you play things, can you like, okay, I can actually pick that sounds a lot better for my style compared to this one compared to my style? Like,
I mean, I can't read music, so
okay.
I mean, I did when I was really, really, really young. I did like guitar lessons, and that didn't get me very far.
Yeah.
But they taught us a little bit how to read music. But now it's more so just picking a general chord or something like G C.
Yeah.
B minor, E type thing, and going along and making a pattern like that. So in answer to your question, yes, I can hear like, oh, that might be a G because that's a really common chord.
Okay.
But not so much particular notes, reading notes on a page. Like,
you can't read music, but you can write a song.
Yeah,
do you write the lyrics? Is it lyrics or music? Okay.
The lyrics, and just put a chord progression together. So it's actually really easy.
Let's pretend that we don't know what a chord progression is.
Okay.
Okay.
Like pretend.
Just pretend. Okay. Like when you say you put a chord progression together.
Yeah.
What is that? Are you just like you got your words, right? And you're just like strumming along.
Yeah. So I would like, as I said before, there's like really common chords.
Okay.
So that's just like a bunch of different notes on each strings put together.
Yeah.
To make a chord, and the ones that I know, maybe I'll play around with a different sound pattern or like just putting them together in different ways, different beats, different whatever I feel. And if I feel like something's cool, then I'll be like, okay, that's like a bit of a cool melody. Well, this is what I did with my last one, but I did. Like I don't do this very often. It's very hard. And I put that together, and I was like, okay, that's cool. And then like I had a couple of like things written down, like I start as like little sentences and just write down, and then like maybe it turns into a bit of a poem, and then like maybe like, can I put this here, can I put this here?
So it's like almost like a puzzle putting together.
Yeah.
It's very cool. I always found that interesting.
It's very talented.
Very talented.
I wouldn't even know where to start to.
You know what I rap other people's lyrics when I'm in the shower by myself. That's my music thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I know you weren't expecting that, so that's what I'm gonna go with.
No, that's cool. Cool, yeah.
So you learned music from YouTube. Now, obviously, you didn't learn football from YouTube. Tell us about that story. How did you get into football to start with? So you're in the Crows for the AFLW, correct? Mm-hmm. Where did that story begin? Where did you start football?
I think you need to differentiate what code of football we're talking about.
AFL, Aussie rules, oval ball football.
I'm just gonna throw shit in here. That's what I'm gonna do today.
Yeah, so I've always just loved the sport growing up. So I always just loved watching it. Barracked for the Bombers since I was very young. Through my godmother, she just loved it. I had a couple of aunties as well, Victorian, so they were, and my grandma as well, she was Victorian, so that's kind of, I guess, really where the footy blood kind of came from. And then in my family, we were a big soccer family, so footy didn't really, wasn't a real spotlight type thing. So I always just played with the boys at recess and lunch.
Played footy or soccer?
Footy, yeah, AFL, and I played school footy, I have this really cute video of me running around when I was probably 8 or 9 with the boys in grade 3 in the school footy competition, and it just flashes me back to that age and that time.
Were you a star back then? Were you showing the boys how to do it?
I've got some good footage,
I got some good footage. I would probably do a cut edit and the footage comes in.
Yeah, that is a good spot there.
Just running around.
Do you know Tess Baxter at all?
I do know her. Yeah, she's local.
So yeah, who does she play with? Does she or did she?
She plays at uni.
Yep.
At uni, yeah.
Yep.
I think.
So I actually played footy with her
Okay.
when I played footy for my whole one season when I was like 12 years old. And she was the best player in an all-boys team.
Yeah,
she killed it.
Yeah.
Absolutely dominated.
Tess still kills it. Tess still kills it.
There's no doubt.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see, like, even though AFLW is a brand new, I guess, section of AFL in Australia, it's been happening for years. Like females in AFL or Aussie rules football has been happening for so long. It's only now been, I guess, publicised and made a big thing.
Yeah.
Is it cool for you to see that?
Yeah, it is really cool, and like I absolutely love now like going back to younger teams. Like last night I went to this under-10s girls footy club because of a friend of my mum's daughter was in there, and that's how I kind of got onto it. But it was just so amazing because those girls have that opportunity that I never had. Like I could never at under 10 go to a footy club and be in an all-girls team.
So it's an all-girls team?
Yeah, it was all girls. Yeah, and there was like 14 or so, and they were really good.
Yeah,
they were really good skill level for under 10 girls. Like, so you can imagine that in 20 years' time when they come through, if they keep playing footy and keep at it, then they're going to be really great because they've started so young and they've been able to keep playing the whole life. Whereas for me, I just started kicking around at recess and lunch, and I couldn't do anything more than that. There wasn't anything more. So I did a couple of like South Australian tournaments against Victoria and Queensland.
And that was a mixed?
No, that was all girls. Yeah, but that was only like a week long, and a couple of trainings each week for a month before type thing. So it wasn't like a full. I've never had a full winter season of AFL.
Yeah.
Only because I've just always been playing soccer.
Yep. Because
there's always been like more for soccer. There's always been
more
pathways, more teams, more leagues, more opportunities. So that's just always been. That's just like I just automatically went and played soccer full time and sort of pursued that because there just wasn't anything with footy. And I guess then when the whole talk about the AFL League being fast tracked from we were supposed to start in 2020, so it was fast tracked 3 years. And when I heard that they were going to do that and the Crows were going to put in the team, I could not say no to,
So you got asked, or did you ask?
I had some connections with some people, and then we sort of spoke about it, and then like I told them I was really keen to play, and that I would love to play, and then it sort of just went on from there.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very good. Did you start with football? Was that your in your career towards a professional sports star? Was football your beginning or was soccer your beginning?
Soccer was my beginning. Yeah, as I said, my dad.
The name.
Yeah, my dad was when we lived in Mount Gambier, Dad was like a 500 plus senior game player at his local club. So he, I grew up watching him play, and
what's the club name?
Blue Lake.
Okay.
Yeah, Blue Lake Soccer Club, and that's where I started my whole soccer journey. And I have. Again, memories, footage, videos of me and Dad running out, before his game, and then me sort of starting to play in my first under-11s team, which was with the boys. So again, started with the boys, but it just developed from there. As I grew up, because there was not enough girls in under 11 at that point to make a team, so I just played with the boys.
At what age was it all girls teams?
All girls. There was under 13s at that time in the league down there, and then there was like seniors. So, but the under 13s came in like after I was 13, if that makes sense. Yep. So when I was 11, I wasn't. There was only seniors. I'm pretty sure from memory. So
is that 16 and older? I'm guessing.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Yep.
And it was just like any age.
Yep.
Like older women and everything like that. So I just played boys. I played with the boys until under 11. I only played with the boys, and then I think as I went up, I did both. So I played girls and boys on the weekends. So I'd play like under 14s or whatever, and then I would go and play in the women's competition. So
in the same day.
Same weekend.
Same weekend.
Yeah. So the boys would be on Sundays, I think, and the girls would be like on Saturdays. So.
Competition-wise, what was it like between the two?
Yeah, I got a question on that.
Yeah.
But you keep going.
Yeah, boys obviously very competitive. At that age, I was still able to really kind of meet their level. It was only like under 16s
The more development
that they started to really possess like skills and stuff that were just like next level because of.
Would you say skills or more like physical attributes?
Just more physical attributes
bulkier,
as well.
stronger.
Yeah.
Skill wise, probably still on par though.
Yeah. But I always just still played in that competition, and I'm still really proud of what I was able to do at that age as a girl, and playing in those boys teams. So it's not like they went there and I just stayed here. You know, I was still keeping up with them. It was just a matter of their boys, they're bigger and stronger, and
they get bigger.
Everything else.
That's physiology right there.
Yeah.
My question, my thought, that just went from there, right? So you started with boys, and a lot of other like players that we've had have all started with boys because there weren't those pathways previously, right? Now we've got girls starting with girls. You like said about last night. Do you feel that the development that you got with boys will far exceed the development girls will get with other girls in the future? Right? So 20 years from now, you're a tough player and you're a strong player. Do you put that down to, okay, well, I had to be to play with the physicality of the fellas? You know, and then now the girls coming through are not going to get that same kind of rough and tumble in their games. It's a different game completely, but in saying that, like, what do you feel that future's going to look like?
Yeah, that's a good question, I think, because like I feel like you have it sort of in you. If you've got the hunger, if you've got the drive, that's in you, regardless of whether you grow up with boys or girls playing. And I'd like to think that my physicality just naturally came to me. So I'm pretty confident in saying that if I was to play with girls versus boys, I would still be where I am today.
So it wasn't the boys that made you, it was you that made you, you just happened to be around boys.
Yeah, I just happened to play with the boys, and I think the development that you get is more of a skill level rather than physicality.
As in a greater skill development?
Yes, because they're faster, so you've got to think quicker, you've got to have your touch better, etc., etc. So I think playing with the boys, my skill developed quicker than
so how does that then translate to girls now? What's being done to get, well, I'd say what's been done, it might not be being done, to get girls from now to develop skills quicker or better or more skillful, whatever?
Yeah, that's another good question. I'm not really sure how to attack that, but I do know that
tough questions.
You're opening cans of worms.
Yeah, you know what? I'm down for that. That's
I don't know. It's a really good thing to maybe. Well, obviously we'll just have to wait and see what unfolds and see sort of where the talent is, and can girls who grow up playing with girls can they develop into being superstars? And 100% they can.
Oh, they will be. They definitely will be.
But just be interesting to compare the two and see where it comes from.
Because this is what I've always found with the girls that I've get into training that have played with boys before. You definitely, I can see a difference in set speed, the skill, ability. But also I still agree with you have the drive in you. You have to have some to be able to put yourself into those situations. You know, but just the development forwards, like there definitely needs to be those pathways. But what does that entail in regards to quality of player? You know, like 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you know, what's that look like? Yeah. And always feel like challenging more. Anyway.
It's funny because in basketball, it was almost the opposite. They'd make the boys play with the girls because of the teach. Like obviously basketball is a non-contact sport. So when it's just boys, we get our testosterone going, want to hurt people and hit people. When there's girls involved, you sort of go, you don't want to hurt the girl. Whether that's sexual or not, I'm not too sure, but you don't want to hurt the girl. So that the coaches would say, play better defense, move your feet better, get in front of them rather than trying to force your way through. So it's actually really developmentally great to play boys with the girls because you change the way you play, which is actually the more proper way of playing basketball. That's pretty cool. So it's a good, it's a bit of a transition there, which is pretty cool.
I played basketball when I was younger, and I didn't understand the whole like fouling thing, and I just always got fouled out. So maybe
we can always tell when footballers come to basketball. You're not supposed to hip and shoulder, man.
So I get in trouble if I jump into netball teams, right? I don't understand netball in a heart, and I will always get body contact and this is social, right? Fouls, that kind of stuff. But the thing with netball, I find netball is very almost like a vindictive sport. I've just fouled you, then I have to stand next to you. I can't do anything while you have to free pass.
Suffer. Stand there and suffer.
Stand there and suffer and watch me pass the day. Time out, like right there, doing the thing. Like, you know, so that's my thing with that. So with the soccer then, so that's obviously you had in the pathways of football. You went and played in Canberra. How did you get from playing Mount Gambier to the first? Was Canberra your first major like professional team? Soccer was?
Adelaide.
Adelaide was and then went to Canberra.
Yeah.
So run through that.
So I obviously grew up in Mount Gambier, and then when it came to a point in time where I couldn't continue travelling to and fro every week, I went to boarding school. So I boarded at Walford Anglican School for Girls for the last 2 years of my schooling. Nice private girls' school.
Because you did.
It was really great. It was a really great school, and I was able to pursue so many more things than I would have done being in Mount Gambier.
Yeah.
So I got to go to trainings every night, pretty much of the week, whether it be soccer, cricket, or footy. Because I had all three on my plate at that time.
And cricket.
And cricket, yeah.
Okay.
Were you competitive in cricket as well?
Yes.
You were.
I played state unders until I couldn't under anymore. So I think under 18 was the last one.
Cool.
Bowler, batter,
a bit of an all-rounder, but it came a point in time where I couldn't keep up 3 sports at that level.
Understandable.
So and cricket was standing out in the field the whole day just for 6 hours, got a little bit tedious. So that was easy to. I did love cricket and I loved growing up with it. I just didn't have that same passion about it that I did soccer, and then that I did footy as well. So that one got the flick. Sort of at that age, and then I was able to focus on that footy and soccer. With soccer, I was in.
What age are we talking?
This is 17, between 16 to 18.
So YouTube dates. You had some time free. That's when you learn your music as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting Jenna's life at 16, 17 together right now. Yep.
From the boarding house, I would obviously have to organise rides and everything to get everywhere, and I pretty much just was able to train the days that I could instead of going to and fro. Focus on school as well, because obviously at that age, and when you're in 11 and 12, it's getting important. You can't just skip classes like I could in grade 9.
I did. My year 12, I literally spent my year 12 between recess. It was recess time was basketball time. Nice. Right, and then the middle period between recess and lunch was also basketball time for me, and then lunchtime was continuing basketball time, and then I would sign in for yard duty or pick up the rubbish at that time, and then depending what the final classes they were, was either back to basketball time or classes. My mum seriously thought I was going to fail year 12 because I would do that, and then I wouldn't come home, and I wouldn't, because I got a mate's house after school, and we'd spend 40 minutes walking to his house. He would then play Xbox. This was when Halo was out. He'd play Xbox. But I spent the time studying. But my mum didn't know that. She knew I would wag classes and then did this, and she was like, "You're going nowhere in life." This is seriously, I've got my transcript at the end of year 12, and mum was like, I was there, I was nervous, and mum was like, "Oh, what'd you get?" And I was like, pulled it out, and I told her, and I was like, "It's decent score." And mum was like, "What?" And I said, "Yeah." She goes, "How'd you get that?" I was like, wagging classes. That's how I do it. That's my.
There you go, kids.
Don't do what Josh did, otherwise you'll be behind a phone camera. So that's my leeway. So keep going. Yeah. So then you can train. You got in. So United, did they approach you to do trials?
I think it was a trial system back then. Yeah, and my first year with them was so intimidating, so scary. I got one of the last contracts that Dave Edmondson, who was the coach at the time, was giving out, and didn't get much game time. Was a number 9 back then. So that's where 9.
Murph,
striker.
What's a number 9?
Striker.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. So I got. Probably 30 minutes all up that season, not much, 2 games. Yeah. And then from then we had Ross Aloisi come in the next year, for the next 2 years, and I was with him in those teams for the next 2 years, and that's when he transitioned me pretty much as a defender. That was how I worked my way back there, and then I've been a defender ever since. And I played those 3 years there, and then after that year in at the end of 2014, start 2015, I moved to Brisbane and lived with one of my best mates at the time up there. And
was that for soccer or was that
that was just life change, yeah. Just went up
We
there.
thought about moving to Brisbane, haven't we?
Bit of a life change.
Get away from the cold.
It's freezing here now.
So did you play sport in Brisbane then?
Yes, so I just played local league soccer there.
Yep.
Played a bit of footy as well, so I actually represented Queensland as well as South Australia.
How isn't it? It's not a state of origin thing. Is it? How did you represent Queensland?
That was just a bit of a state exhibition sort of thing. We played against New South Wales in Sydney.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so we played a game against New South Wales ACT, and I was playing for Queensland at the time, and yeah, because the best mate that I was living with, she played for Canberra that year before.
Okay.
So that was kind of the connection there, and I was like, oh yeah, cool, like, I'll go down and give it a try. Went down trial, got in, and
How long were you there for?
2 years, two seasons.
Yep.
And then, yeah, so that would make it the end of 2017. Coming back, 2016.
2016.
Yep, sorry. After that season there, came back, we've skipped a little bit. We've skipped a lot.
We skipped a bit. We'll go back to that.
Last season with Canberra, came back to Adelaide.
Yep.
2017.
Yep.
February started that first AFL season.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're doing the double. So, what did you skip just then? As a synopsis, what did you skip?
Travelling and playing overseas, pretty much. So I went.
Don't skip past
So, well, we were talking about Adelaide United.
No, you know what? I'm just
Canberra.
going to vibe on all of it. So, Canberra, skip. Now we'll go back to the skip parts.
Yeah. So,
Where overseas?
2015, I got an opportunity. 2016, I got an opportunity to go play in Iceland. So it's a very remote island in Europe. Didn't know where it was when I got that opportunity, but yeah, that was.
How did that come through?
I
You said
had
you got a
one of the girls that I played with that first year with Ross in Adelaide United. So that would have been 2013/14. I played with her. She was a Norwegian, so she was an international player, and I just got into contact with her. I said, like, hey, I want to go overseas and play this year. Do you have any ways that you can, help me get some
in the north of Europe,
get some contacts? So that's pretty much how it happened. And then I had an agent who found that for me, pretty much. So then I went over there for 6 months. It was crazy different to just like life as we know it.
How
soccer life or life?
Everything.
Right.
So from the living to the look of the country to obviously the food, the culture, the soccer, the weather.
Now, Iceland's in the World Cup now. Right? That's what people would kind of know about it. So can you run through all those things you just said? Like run through what's different about the food, the country, the culture. What did you find going over there?
And did it work for you or not?
Yeah.
I had to adapt. I definitely had to adapt to driving on the other side of the road, to the weather. Yes, very important. They have like quite good food there. Like you could just get your normal staples, but it's kind of like their cultural food that they love. Like they just eat dried fish, like dried shark. That was one of the cultural things that I tried. It's like a chip to them.
Like jerky sort of.
Like a
shark kind of like a jerky / crisp
shark
chip type thing. And it's like so gross. It is just like it smells like fish. It smells like the sea. And then you put it in your mouth and it just tastes like raw salt and fish.
What part of the shark is it?
I have no idea, but it's just.
How do they get it? Is there like a shark farm, or they go out and fish it? Like
I think it's in the supermarket. But
you're like, you want to get some shark today? How do you got a shark? Like
it's just like their cultural thing, so like Italians, they love spaghetti. That's stereotypical, but
very stereotypical.
but that's their culture. Their culture is pasta and pizza and that sort of stuff. But these guys, their culture is dried shark.
Okay.
As a chip, as a snack.
Does it come in like a bag? I mean, like shark chips.
No, not like that.
It's not imagining.
No, just like a clear bag, and it doesn't have any pretty branding or anything, like Red Rock Deli. Just you can see that's dried shark.
Okay.
So
So
I tried that. That was one of the things I tried. But they've got so many beautiful mountains, waterfalls. Their landscape is just so different. So there's no trees. Okay. In Iceland, anywhere, there's just no trees. And when I first got there, and also when my mum came and visited, we were just like, there is just something about this country that I just can't put a finger on what is different. And it was the fact that there was just no trees. Because there's just all volcanic ash and rocks and everything just covering the whole. So obviously where there's roads and houses, there's none of that there. But when you sort of get outside of the towns and stuff, there's lots of rocky.
Like rocky desert. I was not a desert, but that
pretty
kind of
much
Is it
type
green?
thing.
Is it green?
No green.
So what's it like to breathe there? Because I mean, I've just learned about
photosynthesis.
Yeah.
I can
That's
actually use
question.
photosynthesis. I never thought I would in my whole career. I'm about to use it. Thank you, biology. Because would it be because oxygen would be, I guess, somewhat lower then.
Yeah.
So is it like is training difficult? Did you initially walk in there struggling to breathe, like high altitude sort of thing?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I didn't notice any difference.
Okay.
So there must be some way that they get their oxygen. There's just no.
We're gonna find this out because you can't just have it as.
There's like.
There must be some way they get it.
They breathe on carbon dioxide.
There's man-planted like trees, but in the
natural landscape,
the wild, there's no trees.
See, I heard the difference between Iceland and Greenland is, and in the names, is that Iceland is green and Greenland is terrible.
I mean, there's a bit like I wouldn't say there's it's out like us like green like parks everywhere. No.
So with the like Iceland stuff, I've been super interested to talk about this for like ages, right? Because I've always been if I'm gonna leave the country, I want to go weird places. Or not necessarily weird places, but places that are outside the ordinary.
Yeah.
Iceland is outside the ordinary. Population of 300,000 people or something.
Yeah.
Language barriers. You on the plane, so you're on the plane, you're like, I'm going to Iceland, first time ever, take yourself back to that moment, and you're like, I'm going to Iceland, like...
What language do they even speak?
Icelandic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it like it would be a Scandinavian offshoot?
Yes. Norwegian, Icelandics, that they are all quite Finnish similar.
Yes.
However, they definitely are significantly different, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Maybe their roots are all the same. I mean, I have no language, like that was not one of my skills to pick up a language.
Okay.
And so, I can't tell the difference between, but they are definitely different. That first...
So many questions.
That first travel to Iceland, just...
Because you're by yourself?
By myself, By myself, nobody, going to Iceland, like, crazy, scared, nervous, all the above. But I get there and most of the country speaks English. They either learn English, Danish, English or Danish as they grow up. Most learn English, so let's go with 90% of the population speak English as well.
Yep.
Obviously, they're not going to speak English to you when you first meet them. They're going to be speaking Icelandic, so you've got to say, hey, can you speak English?
Can you say, hey, can you speak English?
I did learn that sentence, and I do not know it now.
Oh!
No, I've forgotten. There was 2 years.
Do you know how to swear in Icelandic?
No.
Do you?
That was another one I think that I got, but
Lost that one now.
You got to learn for the field. Like I learned to swear in Spanish because a lot of my players that played with me are Spanish. Not very well.
They knew what you were going on about.
Yeah, they know what I was saying about. Yeah. So, sorry, you're on the plane, keep going.
So, the language barrier whilst I was there wasn't all that bad. However, when you're in the change rooms with your team, they're all speaking Icelandic to each other, so they're all talking, and you're kind of just like wondering, like, kind of like what you'll cook for dinner type thing. Like, unless you go and make a conversation with them, or unless they come to you and speak English, because they know that you don't speak it, you're not having too much conversation, which is really testing. It's really difficult. And even the coach would address the team in Icelandic sometimes, and you're just standing there going like, I've got no idea what you're talking about. Like, you're explaining a drill, and you've like started the drill, everyone's starting it, and you're just trying to watch and see like what you have to do, and then like maybe you'll use the wrong foot and he'll yell at you or something, and then you're like, but you didn't explain it to me, you know, type thing. It's really frustrating at times. It's like really, really, really frustrating. But like overall, not too bad. Overall, most people would make the effort to speak English and just make sure that you sort of knew what was going on. Like, hey, do you know what's going on? I'll explain it to you if you don't, type thing. But there were times where I was just like, you know what, just make it easy for me, type thing. There was some.
Did they? Like the coaches like change how they did things to help you out? Like, were you the only foreigner in the?
No, you could have four four international players.
Yep.
So there was me, an American, and an Italian at the time, and then a second American fourth international player came in towards the end. So I had other people that spoke English.
Yeah.
So you know they were in the same boat as me, but. Obviously it made it easy, but you go into those situations where you're living with people that you just put into a position where you have to be friends with them, kind of thing, like because you have to live with them, you have to see them every day, you both speak English, so you have to go and get along, and like you don't get along with everyone in your life that you come across, so sometimes it was difficult to sort of get along.
So you're staying with like housing situation. You stay with other internationals.
Yeah, or we just stayed in like a little unit type thing.
Okay, and then like travel to you walk to the games or you.
We had a car, so the car we drove to trainings. All the games, most of the teams were in Reykjavik, the capital city. So, so it was just like driving. It wasn't. We didn't have to travel anywhere. We only travelled if we went on an hour's bus ride to a team that was out in a bit of a country town, or a 45-minute flight to the north of the island.
To play teams
there was
up
a
there.
team up there, one team, yeah.
So that one team, would they have to fly
Every
most weeks?
Yeah.
Ouch.
Mm-hmm.
That sucks.
Are they the teams with the grass pitch, like the cash money?
Yes, they do have a nice pitch up there, so I'm going to say that. Well, they have to travel, so they obviously need government backing or whatever, funding.
Wow, that's cool. So what did you find, maybe outside of football and all that was the reason you were there, but like, what did you find to be some of the cool things about there that if you could bring them back, you'd be like, this is what we could bring here? And then what things did you find that were kind of like, I don't want to have to do with that again, outside of the shark chips?
Yes, the shark chips. I loved the landscape of the country. The amount of waterfalls and beautiful scenery that country has is just like you just can never imagine it.
Yeah.
You can sit here and go, oh yeah, waterfall, that'd be nice, but until you get there and you're standing in front of like a 100-meter waterfall, like you're just like, holy crap, I've never experienced this. It's just like a rush through your body, like it is just some crazy stuff. And I'm just, if I was to bring that back,
The waterfalls.
waterfalls.
And we're talking like
mountains that
clear
you can hike.
water, like
You could drink it.
you could drink it.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, you've seen it. I've seen it in the shops, right? Well, worse, they got the Icelandic water.
That's just from the waterfall.
It's straight.
They are known for their pure water, So.
Did you ever try and jump in one? It's gonna be cold, but no.
No.
Never thought, you know what? No one's around. I'm in Iceland. Why not?
Well, actually.
When in
Actually, not a waterfall, but we went to a naturally heated hot spring bath. So it was man-made in terms of the wall and the actual shape of the pool, but the water that was inside was all natural.
From the volcanic.
From underneath.
Yep.
So that was all like just like this really nice spa, and you had to go on this little hike to get there. And then me and the other girls that we had, there was like a stream next to it. So like that was cold. That was like a coming from something up there, and it came down, and we wanted to go and jump in it. So it was freezing cold. But we went from the spa, ran down the hill, dodged all the rocks and stuff, went into this natural stream.
So we're doing like
water.
running stream.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like you just had a naturally hot water spa, and now there's also naturally freezing cold water. And we just
cold
That's a good recovery, right?
good covering. And then we just went and laid in it for like a second, and then I was
like how far in did you get? Are we talking
not far.
Recovery or just like toes and?
No, just like it wasn't deep at all. So like if I lied down, it still wouldn't cover like my whole body type thing. It was just like a really small, thin one, but that was my win in Iceland.
You said it, you've done it.
Yeah.
You got a story of it.
Yeah.
See, I think that would be the coolest thing. So I've heard of, like I said, I heard obviously wrong with the landscapes, right? With that side of things, but what else would be? So there's waterfalls. I'm all imagining now it's just waterfalls and like
hot
volcanic
springs,
desert rock, and then
I'm thinking
springs.
Vikings too.
Yeah.
Vikings sprinkled big axes and.
What is the countryside like? Like, are we talking small villages? Are we talking spas?
So the capital city's much like a capital city, like a kind of like a country town type feel about it. So they've got their shopping centres, they've got their malls, they've got their fast food outlets. You know,
is there McDonald's in Iceland?
No, but there is you know those ones in America.
Shark burger.
No. There is like the same same as Macca's, but it's not called McDonald's.
Okay.
So it's
like a Burger King sort of.
Something almost
kind of like that. Yeah.
Okay.
And so it's a very well established city. So it's not like it's just like the other side of the planet. You know, they do everything upside down.
They're not third world, they're
no, they're very first
Yep.
world. But it's just like a small country town almost. It's nowhere near obviously big as Adelaide. You could probably fit the country in South Australia. You know, it's quite small. But there wasn't like I was living in a farm or somewhere else.
When you go out to when you took your 45-minute flight to the north, at that place, so what is the kind of feel in those country towns? Like obviously, like Adelaide is Adelaide, but when you go out to country towns around here, there's a different kind of vibe about them. You know, is a similar kind of separation?
We didn't really like spend a lot of time in that town. We were just like kind of fly in, play the game, fly out. So we didn't really get to feel what's going on. But it is much smaller. You know, definitely a town similar to driving from Adelaide to Mount Gambier type thing. Just almost like a drive past and you missed it type thing. So very small but still living their lives as normal type thing.
Like so I think that's for me. If you're going completely to other place, other side of the world, I look at the culture, what's happening, not just the culture of that compared to what we've got here, but then within the country itself. You know, I would like to look at those things and how the living arrangements and language and all that kind of stuff. You know, to me that's huge. Like, did you get to travel much throughout Iceland and then the surrounding countries in your time there?
And when I say like it's crazy different, like they are normal people. They do everything. You know, it's just the way that they do things different. So I don't want to paint a picture that's way too extravagant.
Paint the picture, and then we'll get someone from Iceland in to just refute everything you said.
Like as I said, they normal shopping centres, normal shops and all that sort of stuff. What was the question? What
do you see as like the differences?
Oh, when I was traveling
did you get to travel around?
Yeah.
What were they?
Well, I only stayed like in Reykjavik pretty much.
Okay.
There was, which is on like the southwest side of, I guess, the country, if you have it on a map here in front of us. And this east side, would take you 12 hours to drive over there.
Okay.
So, from Brisbane to Canberra or whatever. But over there's like all the glacial type things. So that's ice and what do you call those?
We're doing like fjords and.
Not in Iceland,
no. Okay.
But just those ice glaciers and.
Is there much population in that
water
sort of area?
that's iced. Yes and no, but most of it is on this side here. So that would be like another.
So no soccer over here, though.
No, there was no teams over there.
Ice soccer.
Ice soccer, synthetic, just nail into the place.
Yeah, so that was the ice side, and I.
Could be a new sport.
I'm just imagining it. Keep going.
We call it? Ice skates.
What's the one with the broom? The curling? Soccer curling. Okay. Yeah.
I really wanted to go on that side, but I just never got the opportunity. But apparently,
how long were you there for?
6 months.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. But driving over there, we train every day, so you can't really just take a day, 2 days,
7 days a week
to get over there. Most days, yeah.
Okay.
But we did have a period in time where the league had like a few weeks off, so it was like a mid-season break. But I flew over to America and did New York over there for that time. So I didn't do the rest of Iceland, but a couple of other girls, you know, went home or did whatever else that they wanted to do. But I went over there, so I didn't really, you know, go
much travel
much there. But my mum came over in that time as well. I only went to New York for like 5 days. Like, it was quick. And then my mum came. I think actually she might have come later in that year. Later in the year there, and we did all the waterfalls. We did the Blue Lagoon. So
what's that?
That's this man-made hot spring thing again.
Oh, is that the same one?
No. This is like a massive tourist attraction.
Okay.
And if you go to Iceland, you need to go to the Blue Lagoon. Like, this is
on the list.
This is the place to go. And they've built this beautiful like spa resort type thing amongst this like water, and there's bridges, and there's you can drink cocktails in there.
Do they have any trees there?
No.
Still no trees.
No, that's far out in the middle of the woods as well, so there's definitely nothing out there. But so we did that, and we actually also did like a day trip to Sweden as well. So we just did a tiny bit of travelling, but not much. Yeah.
What is the training like then? So I'm going to delve into the football side of things, super quick then. So you're used to, you know, at United, you're used to high level training here.
Yeah.
When you go over there, what is the training like in regards to intensity, volume, the styles, the type? Is there any type of S&C? Is it more technical based? Like, what is that like for you? What would a typical training week look like?
A little bit different, but majority core stuff the same. So all the skills, fitness type of things. We would do fitness session, like a conditioning session. We did have a S&C guy who took us through one session a week of like, he did the conditioning, and then we also, like, on the back of that, did a bit of like gym work, strength work.
On your own or with him?
With him as the group, and then you could go to the gym and do your.
So you'd set a program up for you to go and do.
No. He didn't give us programs during the season to do. It was just like when he was there, we would do the stuff with him, and then if you wanted to do anything extra, you would go out and do that. So a little bit different to maybe a setup here in Australia.
Okay.
But yeah, so we just, the training's intensity, normal, as per normal, skills sort of stuff as per normal. The style of play was a little bit different. They like to go direct, rather than perhaps like the Australian way of playing out, playing through, keeping the ball, working it around type thing. They really did just have an emphasis on going direct, and that took me a bit. That took me a bit of time to
straight down the guts
through the middle.
Yeah. Sorry. That took me a bit of time to adapt to. But yeah, in the end, like, you know, anyone can kick the ball forward, so it wasn't really that hard. But but playing as well, the physicality was definitely up there. They were really
Viking
tough.
heritage.
Yeah, that's where it comes from.
What did you learn from there that you could bring back here?
That's what I was going to ask. Boom.
Same page.
Yeah. If anything.
Yeah, I'm not really sure that I developed personally and as an athlete. So skill wise, that got developed. Just experience in another country can take back those experiences. It obviously makes you a better footballer, smarter footballer, playing and being exposed to different types of the way that you play, different trainings, different coaches, different teammates. So all that sort of stuff you kind of bring back unknowingly, and that just sort of adds to your repertoire as a footballer.
You said they were more physical over there. Did you bring back more physicality to the Aussie sport, or?
I think it's still really physical here.
Okay.
So it matched it. If it was on par, if not a tiny bit more physical.
Okay.
But I'm just lucky that, like, when I was younger, I did have that physicality sort of growing up.
Yeah. So it was normal for you anyway.
I could definitely handle it over there type thing. So, but it was really good in that retrospect as well. So, but yeah, just taking back more things to make, I guess, me a better footballer really. But yeah.
Did you? So you were saying?
No, I was I don't know where we're at the moment. We're moving back to Australia.
No, we can go wherever.
We can.
Like, I'm probably gonna jump back into the Iceland or something because I've also got you've only played in Iceland, or have you played elsewhere as well?
I played in Norway as well.
That's where I was going to go.
Maybe we
Let's
should
go to Norway.
We should. Okay, let's go to Norway.
What's the difference in Norway? No. I think to give context, like a timeline. So Iceland, you come back.
Yep, come back. So that was the end of 2016, and I
thawed out a little bit.
Thawed out.
Yep,
Yes.
thawed out.
Come back to a summer in Australia.
Brilliant.
So,
And did you play here then, or did you
yes.
time off?
No. I came back here for the W-League. Had a month off. Went back to Canberra.
And this is W-League, Aussie rules, AFLW,
This is
or this
soccer.
No,
is
sorry, soccer.
Okay, cool.
Soccer. Yeah.
Keep it up
This
to
is
date.
where I like soccer and basketball like mix. I'm exactly the same with basketball. Well, not exactly the same. I know a little bit, but you're definitely.
I'm pretty raw when it comes to soccer.
That's
Sorry.
okay. That's okay. We'll explain a bit more. So yeah, come back from Iceland. Had a month off. Went down to Canberra and played that season there.
So W-League starts end of the year, like our summer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so you're in Iceland through our winter.
Correct. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
And it was their summer, but it didn't get above 14.
Yeah. So you come back to that.
Yeah, came back, played for Canberra, did a season there, which was really great.
Yep.
Loved it down there. Great club, great teammates. And
What
all
year?
that,
What year was this?
This was 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, 2016 season.
Okay. Yep.
So that was that.
W-League runs, just for context, W-League runs when our NBL runs.
Okay.
Same.
Okay.
At
Is
the end.
A-League and W-League the same thing but men and women?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So the
W
A-League.
women?
Yep.
Yeah.
What's A for? I forgot what A-League for. Australian League?
Yeah.
I'm
I think
assuming
so.
like, not the K-League?
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
Australian
okay.
League. Yeah, so that was that, and then I went and came back. Oh, what did I do? I might have went back to Brisbane for a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and then came back to Adelaide, and yeah, that's right. Sorry, I went to Iceland in 2015.
Okay.
This is confusing now.
Yep.
15.
Keep up.
Yeah. I'm keeping up. Just.
Yeah, I think, yeah. And
Even
then,
if it's not dates, like you can go
Yeah.
sequentially. I went to Iceland, then I went to Canberra.
yeah,
Then I went to.
came back
Yep.
to Adelaide.
Yep.
We'll just rounded off, and started playing here in the local league, and then I wanted to go away again. So
Yeah.
that was when I pursued going overseas again. Got a contract in Norway in the middle of this season with a club that was facing relegation, and they hadn't won a game all year, so they were really struggling.
Yeah.
Their
Was
first,
that like for you, was that a challenge then? You're like, cool, I know what I'm in for?
yeah, I did know what I was coming. Oh, well, I thought I knew what I was in for.
Stories.
I went.
Just quickly,
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt. Now, I love mindset sort of stuff in high level sport. So, to me, a good athlete wants to win. And I'm sure that's you to a T. Like, you're a competitive person, you go into any sport and you believe deep in your heart that you're going to win a game. Going into a team that's about to face relegation, they're a team that's not doing very well, they're probably looked down upon by the other teams above them. How do you go into that knowing that the kind of person you would be who's a winner, wants to win, wants to do the best possible, going into a losing team? What's your mindset there?
Yeah, I went in there wanting to help them, obviously, wanting to win, as you said. I didn't expect what I would have to have been dealing with to be, like, I had higher expectations. So I had expectations that the club would be a good club. In the end, didn't turn out to be a good club.
You're talking about hierarchy of club or
sort of.
board members and GMs?
Yeah.
Yep.
Not like looking after us in a way as well. All the girls were really young, so we're talking 16, 17, year olds with zero experience, trying to play against.
How?
I'm 20. This was only 2017 last year.
Yep.
So I'm 22.
Okay.
I'm 23 now, but I was 22 then.
Yep.
So playing with girls who were 16, 17, playing against girls who were in the Norwegian national team, like it's just there's no, you know, so I went in there all positive, all ready to help, all ready to do my best, and I quickly found out that it was going to be a lot harder than just that. So knowing the level of skill for the girls, their lack of football knowledge, football experience just made it so frustrating, and I would want to play well and I would want to be doing all sorts of stuff, but they didn't have that knowledge. So I was here and they were here, and I was trying to play here and bring them up to here, but they just didn't get it type thing.
Too immature, do you think, or just they didn't have that in them?
They've got it in them. They're just too young. They just haven't. They just don't know. You know, little things like, you know, if you're a defender and you're chasing a ball back, you can header it back to your goalkeeper. Type thing. You probably wouldn't get it. That's a really safe option.
I get it.
Yeah, like, you know, and they would try and kick it out, and you know, just little things like that would really frustrate me, because I would know all these things, and then again they would just be here, and I would just be trying to do everything and trying to lead and like come in, and the coaches were still pretty average, and they didn't really have, you know, that authority that you need from a coach, that experience that you need from a coach, that knowledge that you need from a coach. She was an ex-player, and you know, not all ex-players make great coaches, and she was a perfect example of that.
I want to get onto this as well. I need a notepad so I can write notes as well. I want to talk about this as well.
Yeah, I just pretty much had to. I just felt like I took on everything. Like at one point, I was running everything, doing everything, leading, talking, pretty much being a coach. Like I just like got stuck. I got stuck into this hole that I didn't expect myself to be in. I expected a good level of players, just wasn't getting a result type thing. You know, the league was really good. The league standard was very good, so the opposition that we're playing against were really good. My team just wasn't good enough to be in that league.
Okay.
And how did you cope with that mentally? So leaving training, leaving games, another loss if we were still losing.
Yeah.
Going home, how did you cope with that as a natural?
And what did you do?
Winner?
I'm not gonna lie, it was really hard. You know, the first month and a half, I was like, you know, okay, pick yourself back up type thing, do it again tomorrow. But the external factors as well didn't really help. I was in a country town in the north of Norway, so Oslo's down here, the capital. Norway's like this big snake type thing. I was freaking up here, surrounded by water. Like I was so far away from like good civilization that it was just like not funny. Like this town was smaller than the Reykjavik town of Iceland, and worse living type experiences. So it really made it difficult. We weren't in a very nice house. You know, it just
sort of compiled on top of each other.
Yeah, it just sort of that's exactly right. Just sort of like bad thing after another, after another, after another, and you know, by the end of it, I was just not looking at it as I'm going here to develop my football, because I knew I couldn't. And unfortunately, that decision of mine didn't pay me back type thing. But I got so many other things out of it as well. So if I didn't get football enjoyment or development, but I got like more of a spirituality thing out of it. Like I'm here for a reason. I'm supposed to be struggling right now. I'm supposed to be going through this, knowing how to deal with it, like experiencing how shit it is to be in a team that sucks, and you know, you can't do anything about it. You know, be thankful that you've got to experience this country all by yourself, all for free, you know, like type thing, rather than the football. So
like almost more personal development and then athletic or career development. Yeah.
Once I had accepted the fact that I couldn't no longer get anything out of it, like as an athlete, I went and looked at it as a personal side of things, and that only just got me through type thing. I was really so ready to come home, because I had Adelaide United that season there waiting for me, this was about end of September, start of November, coming towards the end of my Norway experience, and I had the season with Adelaide United upcoming, and that's what I was looking forward to, because I was just like, I had
this
something.
is 2017 now, so
last year. Let's head on a little break for now, little water break, toilet break, whatever you do. Look, read up on the rules of soccer break. And we'll come back, because there's a few things in that I want to talk about, especially what you expect from coaches as an athlete, but on top of that, what you got out of it spiritually and what you got out of it personal development wise, because that is huge. That is huge. You know, especially in regards to how you relate to, like I said, shit teams, and when you're in one, what you get out of it.
Yeah.
All right, we're back after this short toilet break. Thanks.